This evening, first up, the Mohamed extradition case heats up. Prosecutors hand over new documents from the U.S., but the defense says key files are still missing. What happens next as constitutional arguments loom? Plus, a 15% airfare cut. President Ali pressures domestic airlines to lower ticket prices and warns that if they don't, the government may step in. We'll tell you what this could mean for hinterland travelers. Also, tragedy in Region 6. A 16-year-old student and a beloved teacher are dead after a minibus overturned while returning from a school sports event. Heartbroken families, dozens injured, and new details on what caused the crash. Meanwhile, transforming healthcare. Guyana prepares to leapfrog outdated systems with digital IDs, AI tools, new facilities, and expanded training. How the strategy aims to deliver faster, better care for every citizen. And overseas, deadly flooding across Southeast Asia. Vietnam, Malaysia, and Thailand battles rising water, mass evacuation, and mountain deaths as torrential rains unleash devastation. Those stories and more coming up on Headline News Update. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for November 24th, 2025. I'm Bibi Backus. Thank you for joining us. First up, extradition proceedings for U.S. indicted gold exporters Nizar Mohamed and Nasruddin Mohamed continue as prosecutors turn over additional evidence from the United States during a hearing at the Georgia Magistrates Court today. Prosecutor Terrence Williams said that although the defense questioned whether the documents were properly processed, the prosecution shared them as early as possible, some even before they were formally transmitted through diplomatic channels. However, defense attorney Cian Lejeune maintained that not all documents have been handed over. He said the prosecution has asked for time until Friday to submit the remaining material. The defense agreed to the extension, but stressed that all documents must be properly executed in accordance with the correct diplomatic procedures before the court can consider any lawful extradition order. Lejeune added that the defense will advance constitutional arguments at the next hearing, noting that new issues may arise when the remaining documents are reviewed. The Mohamed's extradition was formally requested by the U.S. government on October 30, 2025. Under the Guyana United Kingdom extradition treaty, which is still in effect. They face a series of charges, including wire fraud, money laundering, conspiracy, customs violations, and aiding and abetting arising from an alleged U.S. $50 million gold export and tax evasion scheme. The Mohameds remain on $150,000 bail each. In other news, President Dr. Mohamed Finali says Guyana's aviation sector is financially strong enough to reduce domestic airfares by at least 15%, and he is calling on the operators to pass those savings on to citizens. Speaking at the sod-turning ceremony of the new BK Air Terminal in Bartica on Sunday, the president said local airlines have benefited from significant government support and should now give something back to the traveling public.
I want to compliment our aviation sector. Our aviation sector has been modernizing at a rapid pace, changing out assets, investing in new assets. But whilst I compliment our aviation sector, I challenge them to bring a more balanced pricing mechanism for the consumers. We have given the aviation sector enormous incentives. We have given them enormous support in the removal of taxes on fuel. It is time the aviation sector return that support to the citizens and the people of our country. There is no way the aviation sector cannot, at this time, at least reduce air transport by 15%. I've looked at the numbers.
President Ali specifically challenged JAGS Aviation, part of the BK group of companies, to lead the effort in lowering ticket prices. The issue of high domestic fares has been a growing concern. In May, Vice President Dr. Barjagdio warned that if private operators refuse to reduce rates, the government may expand the Ghana Defense Forces commercial aviation arm to compete directly and keep prices down. He also highlighted the role of middlemen who charter flights and inflate costs for passengers. President Ali's call adds further pressure on airlines to ease the financial burden on consumers, especially those in hinterland regions who rely heavily on air travel. On a different note, a tragic minibus crash on the quarantine has claimed the lives of a 16-year-old student and the driver who was taking her home from a school event. Jill Jarvis has more details.
Police in Region Division Number 6 are probing a fatal accident on the Number 62 public road, Quarantine, which claimed the life of 16-year-old Jodia Celine on Friday evening and later resulted in the death of minibus driver, 31-year-old teacher Jerome Bernard. The crash occurred around 6:05 p.m. when minibus BAB 7570, transporting students and teachers from a sports event, overturned after the driver reportedly lost control. According to relatives, passengers said a horse suddenly ran onto the roadway, causing Bernard to swerve before the vehicle toppled onto its right side. Celine of Limlair Village was pronounced dead on arrival at the Number 75 hospital. Her younger sister Janaya, who was also in the minibus, remains hospitalized with injuries. Their mother, Shamela Castillo, said she was shattered upon seeing her daughter's condition and had to be admitted after collapsing in grief. Bernard, a teacher of Brighton Village and driver of the minibus, was among 3 passengers transferred to the Georgetown Public Hospital in critical condition. He succumbed to his injuries on Saturday evening. A total of 17 passengers, including students and teachers, were injured. 2 remain in critical condition at GPHC, while 14 others are stable under observation at the Number 75 hospital. Central Quarantine Secondary School described Bernard as a beloved educator whose presence lifted the school community. Education Minister Sonia Parag extended condolences to Celine's family and said the ministry is monitoring the treatment of the injured. Police investigations continue and a post-mortem examination is pending. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Stick around when we return. Government fast-tracking move to modern, high-tech healthcare system and new measures to boost road safety, ease traffic in East Berbice quarantine.
Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services. 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Check us out at Decor and Gift Gallery this Christmas holiday for all your shopping needs. We are located at 47 Craig and Sheriff Street, Campbellville, Georgetown.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. The government has announced a series of major upgrades along the East Berbice quarantine corridor, targeting traffic congestion and road safety as part of the ongoing expansion of the 4-lane highway. The improvements include new pedestrian and traffic safety features, more precise road markings, designated parking areas, and a major diversion at both Rose Hall and Quarantine to eliminate the chronic bottleneck along the busy stretch. President Dr. Mohamed, speaking during the announcement, stressed that the works are designed with safety as the top priority. He noted growing public frustration over derelict vehicles and abandoned machinery cluttering sections of the roadway and said the government is taking firm action. President Ali said that if contractors are not adhering to the required safety measures, the Attorney General has been instructed to take legal action, especially if negligence results in injury or death. Contractors will be responsible for routine upkeep at construction sites, while the Ministry of Public Works will provide added support where necessary. A strengthened traffic management plan will also be enforced at all active project locations. To further enhance public safety, the ministry will roll out a new education campaign focused on accident prevention in construction zones. Contractors have also been instructed to install temporary lighting immediately to improve visibility along work areas. Once completed, the upgraded corridor is expected to significantly reduce travel time, improve traffic flow, and create a safer, more effective highway for thousands of daily commuters. In other news, Guyana is stepping up efforts to modernize its healthcare system by adopting new technologies and making smart investments to bypass outdated methods and deliver better, faster care. Consultant cardiologist and presidential advisor Dr. Mohamed said the country is developing quickly and that health must remain at the center of that progress. He explained that Guyana is using a leapfrogging strategy, meaning the country will go straight to modern systems instead of slowly upgrading the old ones. Dr. Carpen said the government's plan is to build on 4 main areas: building more health facilities, new hospitals, health centers, and community clinics are being built across the country, training more health workers. Doctors, nurses, technicians, community health workers, and medic staff are all receiving expanded training so that they can better serve patients using modern technology. Tools like artificial intelligence, mobile apps, and smart devices will help patients track their health and keep up with appointments, and improving data and research. Better information system will help the health sector to manage medicine, equipment, and other supplies to avoid shortages. A key upgrade will be the new digital ID card, which will include important medical information such as medications, allergies, and test results. This will also allow doctors anywhere in the country to quickly access a patient's records, making it easy for people to get care even when they travel. Patients going overseas will also be able to share their health information if they choose. Dr. Carpet said these steps will help Ghana build a modern, efficient healthcare system that delivers better service to citizens no matter where they live. Moving on, Ghana will begin flying fresh produce directly from the interior to CARICOM markets within the next 12 months, Dr. Mohamed announced on Sunday. The move is expected to boost regional food security, expand hinterland agriculture, and create new income opportunities for farmers across multiple regions.
Connectivity is the backbone of economic development because it links people, goods, services, and ideas. Never forget that. Ideas. When communities are connected by reliable roads, bridges, ports, air travel, and digital networks, business operate more efficiently, transportation costs falls, and new markets open.
The president made the announcement at the sod turning ceremony for a new airport terminal at the Barteke Aerodrome. He said the initiative is part of a broader national strategy to strengthen food supply chains and position Ghana as a leading regional supplier of fresh foods.
This new hub will save at a minimum 20 minutes on interior and hinterland connectivity, air connectivity. That would reduce operational costs by at least 1/3 of its current costs, positioning up with operators positioning themselves out of this new facility.
By improving air connectivity, transport time from farms to export points will be significantly reduced, enabling producers in Region 7 and surrounding areas to reach new markets more efficiently. President Ali noted that the government is working with air operators and regulatory bodies to establish the logistics required for the smooth movement of food products from the hinterland to CARICOM states.
Connectivity also attracts tourism, stimulates construction, and unlocks economic potential in areas that were previously isolated. In simple terms, when places are easier to reach, they become easier to grow. And Eggy, I assure you, within 12 months, we will fly food out from the interior, whether it's LATAM or here, directly into CARICOM countries. Within 12 months, we will get it done.
The plan also aligns with CARICOM's goal to cut its food import bill by 25% while allowing Guyanese farmers to scale up production and benefit from value-added opportunities. President Ali reaffirmed the government's commitment to ensuring that development reaches every region, not only the coast. He further stated that this will ensure that hinterland producers participate fully in the national and regional economy, creating opportunities where people live. Don't go away. After the break, Brazil's Bolsonaro detained for damaging ankle monitor, and weight loss drug makers announce pricing agreement with Trump.
Check us out at Decor and Gift Gallery this Christmas holiday for all your shopping needs. We are located at 47 Craig and Sheriff Street, Campbellville, Georgetown.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from modern optical services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Current smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Trinidad and Tobago authorities have detained a woman accused of posting Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar's home online and urging Venezuela to attack it. Officials says her post posed a threat to public safety. The detention comes amid heightened Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela tensions and follows several other arrests under the ongoing state of emergency. Brazilian police are accusing former President Jair Bolsonaro of using a soldering iron to try to remove his ankle monitor. Al Jazeera's Monique Yannick reports.
Outside the federal police building, celebrations with protesters praising security agents for preventing former President Jair Bolsonaro from escaping Brazil and avoiding his 27-year prison sentence.
It's the path to justice. Bolsonaro and his son were trying to escape, and Brazilians would have been deprived of what we deserve, justice and the imprisonment of those who've harmed us.
A few meters away, another group voiced their discontent, calling it political persecution.
We want Bolsonaro free, far from this injustice, which represents all the injustice in Brazil. We cannot stay silent.
In September, Bolsonaro was convicted of orchestrating a coup to remain in power after losing the 2022 election to President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. He had been under house arrest in Brasilia, awaiting a Supreme Court decision on whether he would serve his sentence at home due to health issues or be sent to prison. That all changed this morning when federal police officers discovered his ankle monitor had been tampered with, sparking fears he might attempt to flee to a foreign embassy.
Bolsonaro could have left Brazil and never come back, but he always said he would stay in Brazil to fight here. I think the information about him trying to escape is false.
But Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes said his decision was also influenced by a social media post from Bolsonaro's eldest son, Senator Flávio Bolsonaro. In the video, Flávio called for a vigil outside his father's house, promising supporters that God would be on their side.
Are you going to fight for your country or just watch everything on your phone from your couch at home? I invite you to fight with us.
The Supreme Court also denied a petition from Bolsonaro's lawyers to allow him to remain under house arrest. They had requested that the 70-year-old serve his sentence at home because of his age and health problems following a 2018 stabbing. For now, Bolsonaro remains in a federal police cell under strict medical supervision, waiting for the Supreme Court to decide his fate next week. Monica Yanaki of Al Jazeera, Rio de Janeiro.
Torrential rainfall continues to devastate Southeast Asia, with Malaysia, Vietnam, and Thailand facing widespread flooding. Al Jazeera's Tony Chang reports.
People wade through rising floodwaters in Thailand's southern city, Hat Yai. Authorities issued a red flag evacuation order for more than 100 communities on Monday, with heavy rain expected for the next 3 days. Major transport links have ground to a halt, although some still managing to get to higher ground. In central Thailand, the ancient capital of Ayutthaya is also battling floods. Roads turned into canals. The water is deep as 3 meters in some areas. The ancient temples and stupas now under threat, but more importantly, the human cost.
At first I thought it wouldn't flood, but when it did, it was very fast.
In central Vietnam, some relief from the rain, but the waters remain high in many areas. Dozens of people have died, more than 200,000 homes flooded. In other areas, the military have been drafted in to clean up. The economic costs are expected to exceed $8 billion.
Now there's nothing left in the house, only the TV isn't wet. Everything else is completely soaked.
In that other house, a man climbed onto the metal roof. He cut a hole through it to get his wife and kids out, but he died. His body was laying there for 2 days. It's heartbreaking.
Overnight, emergency workers battled raging torrents. Several people remain unaccounted for, and a number of families are still trapped in their homes. In the light of day, the extent of the damage is clear. Vietnam's military is running airdrops into the affected areas to bring in essential supplies. Tony Chang, Al Jazeera.
The U.S. has one of the highest obesity rates in the world. The Trump administration says Americans will soon have access to cheaper anti-obesity drugs thanks to a recent deal cut with 2 pharmaceutical giants. Al Jazeera's Rosalind Jordan reports.
GLP-1s helped me lose 31 pounds.
Is it true one can never be too rich or too thin?
When I look around this room, I can't help but wonder, is Ozempic right for me?
The retail price of Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound, and Mounjaro is rich too, $1,000 to $1,300 a month. And unless they have insurance, the more than 107 million American men and women with obesity might not be able to afford them.
Very effective drugs, and so far I've never heard anything bad about them.
Now the Trump administration has cut a deal with 2 major pharmaceutical companies to make these drugs cheaper for American patients.
And you will pay the lowest price anywhere in the world.
Starting in 2026, Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly will sell GLP-1s to patients for no more than $350 a month. And the federal health care programs for seniors, Medicare, and for low-income people, Medicaid, will cover most of the cost of obesity drugs for the first time.
Medicare patients, importantly, will only pay $50 a month for a copay.
Some Democratic senators say they're worried the deal could undercut federal guarantees that vulnerable patients get the lowest prices, as well as could create a potential conflict of interest between the president's family's businesses and Trump RX, a new government website intended to give consumers access to discounted medicines. Financial analysts, meantime, wonder if the companies can afford to cut prices long term.
They got to make a lot of money in a small group of products to fund R&D for the rest of the portfolio that they have, oftentimes without any results.
One GLP patient and public educator calls the government's plan a start in tackling obesity, not the solution.
If you're sitting out there and you're 50 pounds overweight, 100 pounds overweight, 200 pounds overweight, go talk to your doctor. And there are tools available. And there's hope.
And GLP-1s themselves won't cure people's obesity. There's still a need for widely available, healthy, and affordable food in every community, not just in those of the rich and famous. Rosalind Jordan, Al Jazeera, Washington.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it to the headline news for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.